And so the greatest of all miracles, the son has gone back 10 steps in the staircase of Ahaz. This was a great miracle, as I said, and it must have caught the attention, not just of Hezekiah or or Judah, but of the whole of Babylon. After all, the Chaldeans were the ones who had invented this sundial, so they understood, the Chaldeans astronomers understood what happened, and for them, they must have been amazed and marveled at this great miracle. And so in chapter 39, which is our text today, the king of Babylon, who at that time was somebody by the name Merodach Baladon. Baladon means Baal is the Lord. He sends his envoys to Hezekiah. Now we don't know exactly which year this thing happened. There are those who believe that it could have been maybe in 714 BC that this happened, or some other school of thought believe that it was in 705 BC. No, but whatever the case, what is important is not the exact date of when this happened, but that something significant happened in this year, the year that was, as we've been talking about. And this significant thing happened when two things happened. One was the miraculous healing of Hezekiah. Now, being the king of Judah, being such a great king, and also having had such a sickness, this must have been breaking news that the king that was lying in ICU or had been taken abroad for that was very sick has recovered. So his recovery, his sickness and recovery was a great sign. But more than that, the son going back was such a great sign. And so the king of Babylon sends his envoys to come to inquire what has happened. And so they come to Hezekiah, and he sends letters with these envoys and a gift to Hezekiah the king, and because of what they have heard and seen happen supernaturally. And so they come, and as they come to Hezekiah, the Bible says that Hezekiah then showed them the things that were in his temple. He receives them gladly and then shows them the treasures in his temple. He brags, I can imagine him showing them, going from room to room, just showing them his magnificent possessions, the silver, the golden things, the silver things in the temple that were there, or in his palace, that were there. He showed them everything in his possession. When they came, he bragged about everything else. Just like us, how often do we showcase our accomplishments? How often do we showcase our accolades? We brag and want to float around our credentials and our certificates and even our relationships, the kind of things that we put forth in social media, showing where we have spent our holidays, showing nothing wrong with that, but sometimes it's really a matter of the heart. What is the motivation for us to put those things? How come when we go to Shags, we don't put those things on social media, but we want to brag about the wonderful things, our accomplishments, and nothing wrong with that. It's good to rejoice with those who rejoice, but it's really, friends, it's a matter of the heart. Even as Christians, how often will we show off people, our churches? How often will we show them how big our sanctuary is? Show them just how many instruments we have, how big the congregation is, how many instruments our worship team has, how the decor is. We want to showcase our beautiful buildings. Now at Abundant Life Community Church, that doesn't apply, but one day God may bless us. So will that be what we show off to people, to others, or will we show off the God who is in our midst? What do we brag about? Now it's very, very easy, as I said earlier, for us outwardly to say, when people tell us wonderful things about us, when they praise us for our accomplishments and our wisdom and our wealth, it's very, very easy for us to say glory to Jesus. Outwardly looking humbly and saying, glory to Jesus. We say it very spiritually, but deep down inside our hearts, is our heart rejoicing? Are we saying, yes, I'm bad news. I'm this great guy. You know, so often it's very easy for us to be singing, to say in our hearts, how great thou art. Not him, but how great I am because of the things that I have done. Listen to what how Second Chronicles 32 and verse 31 puts it. But when the envoys were sent by the rulers of Babylon to ask Hezekiah about the miraculous sign that had occurred in the land, God left him to test him and know everything that was in his heart. Friends, Bible says that in Jeremiah 17 and verse 9, our hearts are deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Only God, I the Lord, searches the hearts. And sometimes it's very, very easy for us to say in a pious way, to say in a humble way that glory to Jesus, it's the Lord, it's Jesus. But deep down we are bragging, we are proud, we are saying, oh, look how great we are, look how I did that. You know, we are proud of our own accomplishments. In fact, in the same Second Chronicles 32 and verse 25, it says, but Hezekiah's heart was proud, and he did not respond to the kindness shown him. Therefore the Lord's wrath was on him and on Judah and Jerusalem. May the Lord search our hearts this morning to really know what is in our heart. Remember, it says that the Lord allowed this to test Hezekiah, to test him and to know everything that was in his heart, and he was found wanting. May we not be found wanting where our hearts are concerned. Remember, the Lord does not look at our outward appearance, but he looks into our hearts. And no matter how humble we may look or want to look when people praise us and say good things about us, what is happening in our hearts? What is going on inside of us? Are we proud? It's Job who said, Lord, if I've kissed my heart in secret. And how many times do we kiss our hands in secret, bragging about what we have? So Isaiah the prophet comes to inquire about where these strange men have come from, what they say and what they saw. And Hezekiah tells him, he doesn't hide anything from him. He tells him they came from Babylon and they saw everything in my palace. They saw all his possessions, his treasures. Instead of showing them the greatest of all treasures, which is God himself, he showed them all his earthly possessions. He showed them, he testified of his own greatness. Instead of testifying about God's greatness and goodness, he showed them his earthly possessions, as I said earlier. He missed a wonderful opportunity to show off, to showcase this God who had healed him, this God who had stopped the sun, or made the sun go back 10 steps. He had failed to testify about him to these unbelievers who had traveled from far and wide to come and inquire about this great miracle. Friends, what happened in that year? What happened in that year was so great miracles. Yet Hezekiah missed this opportunity to testify about God. Friend, what has happened this year has brought us to the reality that everything that can be shaken will be shaken, and only that which cannot be shaken will remain. Those things we brag about, those things that we want to show off, they can be lost in a second. People have lost jobs. Things have just vanished. Who could have imagined that Hotel Intercontinental would be empty? People will be sent home. They are now talking about it being sold. Who could have imagined that such big airlines like Emirates will stop operation? Who would have imagined that great corporations will come to a standstill like they have done this year? It's like Daddy Owen sang, Yote ni vanity. All these things are vanity. And those very things that Hezekiah bragged about, they were all taken away. God, in fact, through the prophet Isaiah, prophesies that a day is coming when they'll be taken into captivity in Babylon, and all those things will be lost. Friends, many scientists are wondering about how come Kenya and Africa in general hasn't recorded as many deaths as people expected. Being a third world country, people had expected that when this pandemic hits poor Africa, people will die in the millions. But you know what? They are amazed at the very few deaths that have come as a result of this pandemic. And they have come up with different theories. Could it be the weather the sunshine. But hey, it's somewhere in America now, it's somewhere in India, but people are still dying. Is it the young population? India also has a young population. What is it? Is it that we are strong? Why? What is the reason behind all this? Why is it that we have not gone the way that the Western countries went? May I submit to us this morning that I believe that the Lord has spared us. And may we remember to give God all the glory. May not say it's because of how special we are or anything we did, but it is by the mercies of God. May this be an opportunity for we in Africa to tell others about this God that we serve. We are very spiritual people. We are people who love God. May we lift them up in this season. What if Hezekiah showed these people God? What if he told them about him who had healed him and him who had given him this sign? What if he bragged about this God who had done such great and mighty things in his life? But Hezekiah failed in his year of destiny. And all those wonderful things he showed these envoys, as I said earlier, were carried away into captivity many, many years later. Nothing was left behind. Pride indeed comes before a mighty fall. Although he repented and the Lord did forgive him, he missed an awesome opportunity to glorify the Lord. Friends, just as like we have seen during this COVID season, all these things that have happened to us, and even in our personal lives, the Lord has been good. God has done great things. We have been healthy. We have not been carried away by the disease. Good things, some of us have retained our jobs. Wonderful things have happened in our lives. May we testify. May we not miss that opportunity when people come to us and ask us about the secret of our success. When people come and ask us about the things that are happening in our lives, good things that are happening in our lives, may we not fail like Hezekiah did, but may we use and seize the moment and take the opportunity to share with people about the Lord Jesus Christ. May this be our year of destiny, and may we not fail like Hezekiah to show off how our God and tell them of his goodness and upon our lives. May we boast, like Jeremiah says in Jeremiah 9:24, let them that boast in this, that they know and understand the Lord. Paul put it so nicely. If you want to boast, if you want to brag in the Lord. Friends, may we brag in the Lord. May we be like Andrew, who told his brother Peter, come and see, we found the Messiah. May we show people the Messiah. May we be like the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4 and verse 29, who told the whole village, come see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Christ? See him change lives. Him who has healed and saved us. May we always point others to Jesus. May we seize every opportunity to lift